Mm-mm. So look, y'all. This is my first time using this live. I'm on my daughter's laptop. Okay, let's see how this go. Okay, this is my first time using this live. I'm definitely gonna have to get a better camera. So I really don't even know where to start, but I do want to say that they definitely covering the Nolan Wells case up. I don't even want to know where to start because it's so much that I want to say at one time. So where do I start? Mm. Y'all, this shit is wild. Okay, how about this? I just run it down from the beginning. Okay, so we all know they went to the island. We all know that they traced in. Okay, so here's something I want to point out that I know y'all probably already pointed out, but so Tristan got into a argument with his girlfriend because he dropped her cup in the water, some type of cup or something that she is crazy over. He dropped the cup in the water. They're arguing. They're going back and forth. You know what I'm saying? And he says that someone approaches him, and he ends up getting into a fight with this man that approaches him because the man doesn't like the way he's talking to his girlfriend. So I'm willing to bet the house that Tracy's girlfriend is white, and that the white man down there in Horn Island, on Clan Island, was not allowing no black man to be raising his voice in no Southern Belle. Okay, so that's first things first. And Tracy's uncle told him, "You got to get up out of here." Put him on that boat, made him get on that boat, and made him leave. Mind you, before Tristan is leaving, he says he walks past Nolan and says something slick to Nolan about Katie, while Nolan was cradling Katie, right? So my whole thing is this. So you get into a fight with a man that approaches you about how you're handling your relationship with your girlfriend, a man you don't even know. I'm willing to bet the house that his girlfriend was white and that man was white. Trace the name white. He think he is. He a white black. I call them white blacks. Black people who think they white and they help push white supremacy and help push racism. You know what I'm saying? I got the gun line boss. Them niggas. That's what Tristan is. He a white black. So what I'm getting to is okay. So you walk past Katie, who's a white girl, also out there flirting with a black boy after you just got into a fight with a man over your girlfriend, who I'm sure is white. Um, and you say some smart, slick stuff. You probably told him, "Yeah, you better get up out of here for they get up on you for talking to one of they women." Or he might have said, "Yeah, you might be next, so you better be careful how you talk to her." Or you might want to be careful how you talk to her because somebody try to tell you how to talk to her. You don't know what he said to Nolan after he was approached by a man that he did not know and was attacked and had a physical altercation with a man he did not know over his own girlfriend. Come on now. Wyatt said he last saw Nolan at 3 o'clock. And then he said on the way to the boat leaving at 4:30, he walked past Nolan and said something to him, laughed and said, "You crazy." Shook his head. You wild. You a wild boy. We all know what them symbolisms is. If you see a boy with a girl, you walk past him, y'all connect eyes, y'all laugh, shake y'all head. It's like, yeah, I'm finna hit this tonight. Yeah, nigga, you a wild boy, all right. Kid, be careful. Da da da. Boom, we already know what that was. So how you see him last see him at 3 and you saw him when you after you went and got your brother from the fight. So my thing is, Warren, your brother was getting into a fight. Tristan got into a fight. Warren brother got into a fight. Tristan, you said that. I mean, Warren said that his brother was fighting two guys, and so he put some guy in the armbar. Trace then got into a fight. Warren brother got into a fight. Trace then got into a fight, walked past Nolan and said something smart to Nolan about Katie. Some slick shit. And then Warren's brother got into a fight. Warren goes to break the fight up, and coming back from the fight, he's walking past Nolan, also says something of some type of playful whatever to Nolan, referencing Katie. Okay, so this is all just seeming like jealousy. Um, is how I view it. Like, oh, so they ain't gonna say nothing to him about talking to the white girl, but they gonna say something to me, or it's just jealousy going on. I'm not saying that it was over Katie, but what I'm saying is that they was just jealous. So long story short, they're saying Nolan is not on the boat, yet we're hearing Nolan's name on the CETO call. Then on the CETO call, Vicky is asking them the coordinates. They give her the coordinates. She's like, hold on, wait, ain't you on the island? Ain't you aground? He's like, no, I'm in 31 feet of water. But then Bart lawyer gets on um, Officer Tatum, and he said, was it Officer Tatum? Yeah, Bart's lawyer got on Officer Tatum and said that his when his client came to help and aid and render in the boat situation, that they were literally in water that you can get out and walk in. And he said that everybody was able to witness this because they were not far from the island. They were literally aground. And so when we're hearing them say, damn it, Bart, oh, pull the plug. And we hear them saying all of this on the phone. Bart's lawyer said they were not in 31 feet of water. 3 seconds before we hear Bart's name and pull the plug and all that, we hear that Bart is on the boat helping. Um, didn't you just say he was in 31 feet of water? But Bart lawyer saying when Bart got on the boat, when he said the part that we're hearing, my my client was only on the boat for a second. He got over there to just unplug it for them and get back on his boat. He did that so fast, everybody was able to see it, even people that were on the island, because they were not off the island. So you lied and said you was in 31 feet of water, which Vicky from Cito knew you was in the 31 feet of water because when she looked up the coordinates, she was like, wait, you on our island? Like, how are you sinking? Y'all never was sinking. So then y'all decides to go and do a lot of, allegedly, y'all decides to go and stage all these photos and get readies for the if whats and if who's and if so's came out, because you staged a photo of you being towed, but there's no boat in front of you. How can you be towed sideways from a boat, but it's a boat on the side of you taking a photo of you supposedly being towed, but there's no boat connected to your boat towing your boat? Then we see something brown raising up off the floor. There's nothing brown on your boat that should have been raising up, but it looked like it was attached to a rope that Warren was holding standing at the front of the boat while Wyatt was supposedly on the CETO call asking for help. So I'm so confused on how you were far off island on the phone asking for a tow while being towed. How can you be on the phone asking for CETO to help you and Bart is already towing you? While you're on the phone asking for CETO for help and Bart is actually towing you, your granddad done called the owner of CETO and told him, hey, look, you about to get a call. When you get that call, ignore it. Do not go. They do not need help. If I need you to go out there and do anything, I'll call you. Okay. So it's all a setup. Now let's go to Officer Race Batum, Hatem Tatum. Okay. So Tatum, if y'all go on his page and y'all look on his show, on every show there's a bottle of liquor in the background. And if you look into that liquor, Tatum owns that liquor. That's his liquor. That's his brand. And then you see Nolan, Warren, Wyatt, and Jax, or Warren, whatever them niggas' names is, Morgan and Jax. You see their lawyers doing interviews, and they got Tatum liquor posted up in the back for promotion. So Tatum, you doing business with the lawyers. That's why you pushing a certain agenda and you pushing a certain image and you trying to and you know what, Tatum, when all this truth, when the truth come out And everything is all said and done with the Nolan Wells case, if the real truth actually comes out. When it does, when the real truth comes out, you're going to jail. I hope you get sued. You're going to get sued for a whole lot of shit. Now, hopefully, they sue you for being in cahoots, or what you call coercing and helping the cover up. That's what I hope you go to jail for. And if they continue to cover it up and it just happens to actually get covered up, let me tell you something. Warren, Morgan, Jax, Wyatt, Tristan, you will have no good luck. You will have no abundance, no prosperity. You will be ashamed to walk anywhere you go. The creditors will seize your debts. Your wives will be a widow, and your children shall be fatherless. Satan will stand at your right hand, and the curses that you have spewed upon this community will run through your blood like oil and like water through your bones. And you will clothe yourself with that garment, just as the rich does silk. Okay? So I just want you to know that everywhere you go, you're not going to have a football career. You're not going to be able to get a job. Like, your life is going to be so horrible. You're going to be under a hex for the rest of your life. So every day when you wake up, you're going to wish that you never did what you did. You're going to wish that you never moved how you moved. You're going to wish that you had handled everything in a better way. Because one thing about them ancestors, they do not play. And see, y'all time is up. The Neanderthals in them, their time is up. We in the age of Aquarius, the age of truth, the age of enlightenment, the age of magic, the age of Harry Potter, okay? And more people, more black people is leaving Christianity and going back to African spirituality. More black people is leaving Christianity and going back to voodoo. More black people is leaving Christianity and going back to hoodoo, Lukumi, Ifa, Obia, Candomblé, Santeria, 21 divisions. And just like in the days of slavery, when the masters was going to sleep and not waking up the next morning mysteriously, when the master was waking up the next day and couldn't walk, talk, paralyzed mysteriously, this is the way that our ancestors fought them. And so I pay attention to signs, symbols, and everything. And I noticed over the past 7 years, black people specifically have been walking away from religion and walking back into esoteric, okay, spiritual practices. The unseen and the unheard, invoking divine intervention, hexes and curses, whatever you want to call it, money spells. Same shit they've been doing to stay in power all this time and telling us that it's evil. More of my people have been waking up and realizing that they have taken our powers, taken our magic, and been using it to stay in power the whole time and go against us. And they can't fuck with us at it because it belongs to us. You do the same magic, you do the same magic they do, it's going to work stronger coming from you as a melanated ghost DNA person, okay? So, their time is up. They under so many hexes, under so many curses, they losing everything. Their descendants don't want to claim them. Their descendants don't want to inherit nothing that they had. White people don't even want to be associated with white people because of the history of slavery. You got white people that will be mad as hell at you right now. If you say, oh, your ancestors, they like, my ancestors wasn't even slave. They get so mad because they don't want that shit on their name. I wouldn't either. I wouldn't want it on my name either. I got Choctaw ancestors, and I know Choctaw was one some of the worst slave masters in Mississippi. And yes, they was melanated, and yes, they beat the shit out of slaves worse than a white man. And yes, my second great grandfather had thousands of acres of land in Durant, Mississippi. Until this day, my granddaddy and them passed 100 to us, 100 that he inherited out of them thousands. And they were Choctaw and Chickasaw, well known. I got uh, newspapers with my great granddaddy and my second great granddaddy, all the newspapers for having the best lands, the best cotton lands, the thickest, strongest cotton roots. Ain't nobody seen lands like this with cotton this with land so pure, with that grew cotton so good, with such good roots, like the land that I inherited. Okay, in Durant, Mississippi, which is about 45 minutes away from Ocean Springs. No, I'm lying. Durant, Mississippi is not 45 minutes from Ocean Springs. My mom's side of the family is from Macomb, Mississippi, and my grandma's name is Emma Bell Wells, my second great grandma. And she is from Macomb, Mississippi, which is about 40 minutes from Ocean Springs. And I am aware that Nolan is a distant cousin of the Wells side of that family. So yes, I take it personal. That's why I can't sleep at night. I take it personal. So and yes, all my grandparents was root workers. They all put spells on white people. The ones I'm telling you that own the land, they was the ones who everybody came to for a fix when they needed something. Somebody's bothering them, or they couldn't get rid of this cold. They came to my great grandparents, my granddaddy parents, who own the 100 acres in Mississippi that they left at all to us. They was close friends and partners with Bishop Mason, the owner of Kajik, the original root working church. Before they watered it down, and after Mason died, they threw away all his teachings, and now they running around this bitch being a traitor to the practice that Bishop Mason actually used to start that church, and the powers that he used to heal them people with them bones and with them staffs and with them spiritual tools from Africa. Okay. And the Kojic church can act like it ain't what it is, but it is what it is. And my great grandparents were friends with Bishop Mason. The second oldest Kojic church, the very second church that he opened up is called Sweet Canaan, and it's in Durant, Mississippi, and that's my family's church. And to this day, my elders and the people that passed away in our family still have their funeral at the second oldest Kajik called Sweet Canaan Church in Durant, Mississippi, which is maybe about like 7 minutes away from the 100 acres of the thousands out of that my entire bloodline owns. Okay. I ain't come from no fucked up ass ancestors. I come from indigenous, and half of them were enslaved and came from Africa. But my great granddaddy, who came from Africa, married my Choctaw, half Chickasaw great grandma. And when he married her, he bought 100 acres. He was a slave baby. He bought the 100 acres from her daddy. He's telling me a man that came from Barbados to America through slavery, got free out of slavery, married a woman, an indigenous Indian American woman, and bought 100 acres from her dad, who owned thousands, which is her dad is my second great granddad, Frank Alexander. And he was a black man. And everybody had to buy land from him if they wanted some in that area. So I know all about Mississippi. Speaking of Macomb, Mississippi, from where my grandma, Emma Bell Wells, is from, which is 40 minutes from Ocean Springs, Mississippi, where Nolan Wells is from. And he is the descendant of Ida Bell Wells. Hmm. My grandmother was born here in Detroit, but her mother, which is my great grandmother, was born in Macomb, Mississippi. And my great grandmother moved to Detroit in the 1940s. And my grandmother would go down south to Macomb, Mississippi every summer to visit her grandmother, which is my second great grandmother. And she went to Mississippi. She went to the candy store around the corner from her grandma's house. And when she went around the corner to the candy store, she was at the counter. She was about to pay for her candy. And there was a white woman standing in line behind her. And this white woman pushed her and said, "Move, you little nigga. Get out my way." And my grandma, she was 12 years old. She looked at her and she said, "I ain't got to move nowhere for you, you soda cracker." My grandma from Detroit. She's not from the South. Her mama might have been born in the South, but she wasn't. And we not with that fuck shit in the North. That's why Emmett Till mama had to give him a prep talk before he went down south and told him, "Listen, this is not where you from. You from Chicago. You don't have to walk around with your head down and not look at white people and say, yes, massa, yes, massa, yes, sir, up here. When you go down there, you're finna go into a whole nother world that you don't even know where you're going to. You're going back in time." My grandma didn't give a fuck about that. She said, she wasn't about to call me no nigga. What she thought this was? My grandma's still alive to this day. Alive and well, very well, walking, owns her own church, and is the head pastor of said church up here in Detroit, Michigan. Okay, so after my grandma called her a soda cracker and continued to pay for her shit and made that white woman wait, a 12-year-old did this to a grown woman. In 1961. Right? Come to find out, that woman was the wife of the president of the KKK, of the sitting president of the KKK at that time, in that year. And my grandma went home. She went around the corner to her grandma's house, going back, thinking, she just leaving the store, going. And she said when she hit that corner, her grandma was outside with bags packed, and a car was waiting for her in front of the house. This ain't even 3-4 minutes. And she put her in the car and sent her back to Chicago so that she can get back to Detroit. And she told her, "You about to go back home? You about to get in this car? They're about to take you to the bus station. Do not get off. Not one stop until you get to Chicago." And my grandma was never able to go back to her grandma's house again. Her grandma never let her come back. She went back when her grandma died to her grandmother's funeral, and she was an adult by then. So I'm sure they didn't even know who the fuck she was or remembered that. They could have been dead by the time that happened. Her grandma died in 76, so 16 years later. So she was at least about 30 something when she went back. And her grandma, which is my second great grandma, Emma Bell Wells from Macomb, Mississippi, which is 40 minutes from Ocean Springs. The sitting president of the KKK at that time was my second great grandma's number one client. She was the biggest laundress. She was the biggest like a cleaner. She had dry cleaners, and everybody went to her, even the Klan. And he was one of her. He didn't let nobody else wash his clothes but her. So he knew my grandma and them knew exactly who that family was. That lady knew who the fuck my grandma was. She was probably mad because her husband, the Klan man, only wanted my grandma, and my grandma was dark skinned, only wanted her to press and wash and steam his clothes. So she probably was just mad seeing my grandma at the stove. That's that little bitch. That's that nigger's granddaughter. So she wanted to fuck on my grandma, but she had a rude awakening, and I'm sure my second great grandma had a couple roots laid on that bitch, for sure. Fuck them. I done let this go off into a whole nother state. But I just really got on here to try my live out so I can see. Now let me see if what is this? Share screen. So when I do the share screen, is it let me see how I do it. How do you do it? No. How do I do it, y'all? Let me see. How do I do this? Okay, I'm about to get off here because I don't want y'all all in my business. Because I don't even know what I'm doing. I want to figure out how I can do this because I want to put some stuff up here from a couple clips that I saw. Because me just talking about it can't really jog y'all memory. I need to like play the clip and then um, pause it and go in on it. So I'm really just trying to figure out how do I really select the tab to share. Okay, YouTube did not share it. But if I share it like that, then how do it go? Are y'all still able to see me when I? Oh, okay. So I might just have to start doing it that way to where the screen and I'll just have the tabs made because I don't know how to do it where I put it like on the side right here. And I gotta get me a streaming software. I'm gonna go get some streaming stuff because I'm gonna start getting on here talking because I am about to definitely make a video about Papoose and Clarissa and Remy Ma because I'm sick of that bitch. I'm sick of Remy Ma. She getting on my fucking nerves, bro. She pissing me off. I'm about to come back and talk about that for sure. That's for sure. I got some shit to say because I'm sick of her.